What's going on, everybody? I'm Nick Davis, La Crosse, Wisconsin, and I make up 1/3 of the bad boys of the Bachelor Nation recap podcast world. You'll be hearing from my cohorts Dylan Wren and the producer of the podcast, Patrick Hickey, in just a bit, but I just wanted to check in and let you know what we have planned for this long-awaited season of The Bachelorette. Our Season 16 premiere recap will drop Thursday afternoon on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you stream audio podcasts. Plus, for the first time ever, you'll be able to stream full video episodes of our recaps if you subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/anotherpodcastnetwork. Now, with that out of the way, what you are about to listen to is our one-time Patreon-exclusive recap of the premiere episode of The Bachelor Season 18, starring, of course, our former professional soccer player turned club promoter, Juan Pablo Galvianatasas. This is, of course, where we were first introduced to Clare Makes My Skin Crawley, our 2020 Bachelorette. We thought it'd be fun to take a trip down memory lane and rediscover how Miss Crawley's fairy tale all started. Our entire recap of that magical season of The Bachelor is available right now at patreon.com/anotherpodcastnetwork. And if that's not enough to get you to become a subscriber, we have also recapped seasons 1 of Flavor of Love and Love is Blind in their entirety. Plus, our brand spanking new, soon-to-be award-winning weekly show, Another Podcast Show, where Pat, Dylan, and I just goof and gab about whatever may be on our minds that week. And finally, a portion of the proceeds from our Patreon will be going to getting Pat's wife a Peloton, which has to be some type of tax write-off. So with all that being said, we will talk to you guys again on Thursday, and every Thursday after that, until Clare Crawley's journey to find love is complete. But in the meantime, sit back as we begin Nuestra Aventura and enjoy our recap of the premiere episode of Season 18 of The Bachelor, also known as the assassination of the character of the Venezuelan bigot Juan Pablo Galvianatasas by the cowards Walt Disney, Mickey Mouse, and their bitch-ass henchman, Chris Harrison.
Whatever the pronunciation of her name is, not a good look already getting bitchy with how to pronounce her name.
All right. Victoria is the Brazilian drunk. We'll get to her later. Do you guys have any thoughts on this?
I do.
Train!
I do.
How you sing that.
Okay. There's a show on TLC called I Am Jazz. It's about this 16-year-old kid that's, he's a boy. I guess he's going to turn into a little girl or something like that.
Cool.
As I'm looking at her, Victoria, I'm like, this girl is kind of hot. I'd love to have sex with her. I'm like, who does she look like? And then it occurred to me, she looks identical to I Am Jazz Kid.
Oh, how troubling.
Yeah, because it's a guy.
And a child?
Hi, hello, and welcome to another brand spanking new episode of Another Bachelor Podcast. My name's Dylan. I'm saddled up next to my buddy, Real Nicholas Davis.
What's going on, everybody?
Patrick, the producer of the podcast, is across this lovely coffee table that we've got set up. Hi, Patrick. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful.
We are in the new stew. Do you guys want to talk about it? It's a lovely, lovely place.
All right, but let's not spend a lot of time on it because the audience doesn't really care about
No,
that.
they do not.
They do.
No, but new listeners absolutely don't. And quickly, let's talk about the Pat Cave.
All right, well, it's a room. I renovated my garage so that we could all hang out and do a podcast together.
I love how humble he's being. When
Yeah.
he has a guest come over, you should see him pointing out stuff. He's like, I got this guitar in 1973 on my 24th
Patrick's
birthday.
old. Patrick is old.
These books I've collected over my years. I built all of this with wood. I went to my wood shop. They just cut it to my specs.
Yeah, he's got a wine fridge in here set to the perfect temperature, although it's not perfect. It's a little too hot.
And last thing,
Yeah.
I call it the Pat Cave. I think it's a hilarious name. Man Cave, Bat Cave. We've got the Pat Cave.
Okay, so we're going to kick off the season whatever of
18.
Season 18 of The Bachelor. We're going back in time to cover Juan Pablo's Aventura. Now, we have been, our hands have been forced because of the dreaded coronavirus, which Nick has deemed a a scam at this point, right?
Absolutely not what I'm saying. I just think our response may not be proportionate and may even be detrimental to the health of the country and world overall.
Yeah, we may be headed towards a depression, and I am excited to see what that looks like.
I know my grandma's already in the middle of one because she can't be by anyone.
Calm down. Okay, so our hands have been forced. We are going to be covering Juan Pablo's season. Why? That's because Claire's season is regretfully, as excited as I am about seeing her Aventura.
It's La Aventura, and I know we're just really getting in this, but I do have a Ease marijuana delivery that just arrived. So I'm just going to hop out. You guys
2020.
Sure.
Be sure to shake his hand and say thanks. Now, fortunately for Nick and I, we've not yet seen or been privy to the ebbs and flows of this Ventura.
La Adventura.
But Pat has already been through this gauntlet, or Ventura. What do you... Sorry?
I just didn't know that, Pat.
Yeah.
And now I see why there was a little pushback when I suggested covering this.
Yeah.
Because who wants to see a season of this show twice? I'm sorry, Pat.
Yeah.
Well, Nick, I'm glad you brought
Pat.
that up. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Let me tell you something. I'm going to have to admit this. I really did hate the thought of actually having to rewatch this show. It is, at this point, 6 years old. 6 years in my rearview mirror. Probably 7 years when they filmed it. But the fun part of the show now is all the intricate details I get to catch that I didn't catch the first time around.
Right.
And also this little time capsule that we have. Let's just say a lot's changed in Bachelor Nation, how people deal with each other on this show.
So funny you bring that up. That's one of the most interesting components of this. It's going to get really hairy when we start talking about motherhood in 2013 with this show. Just being on the show, the golden goose that is The Bachelor was not what it is today, back in 2013.
It also, though it wasn't the golden goose, it was a much more pure white goose. You see some...
Oh, don't say pure white.
Why?
You can't say pure white.
You can. It's a goose. Talking about geese. But the thing about... You'll see the little nuggets of things that have become boxes to check in the new season.
Nick, and I don't want to get ahead of myself. I really don't. But I will say this. One of the bigger things you're going to pick up on this season, and maybe I'm giving too much away, is when Juan Pablo's at the dinner table for a night date with one of the gals, they actually have a conversation. It's not just an opportunity for some bimbo to lay out groundwork for daddy was an alcoholic, mommy neglected me. They actually so where are you from? What are your dreams? You know.
I think you're taking liberties with the word conversation.
But hey, before we move on, Nick has his point. I want to say this. This is very exciting for the baby birds. They're going to love this.
PSA?
Well, no, it's a new segment that I'm going to debut in one of these future episodes. The new segment's called "Whatever Happened to the Platitudes About Having Kids" on season 18. This is where I'll point out cast members on this show that said they couldn't wait to have kids or have more. Whatever happened? Did it come to fruition? Now we know.
Now, can I ask a question? Was that whole thing the title?
Yeah.
Where was that written?
We'll workshop
I was confused about
workshop
that.
title. But, guys, this is a past season. It was from 2013. So before we get into general thoughts, I thought it would be fun to briefly hop in our time machines and set all the computer screens to 2013. Now, the number one movie in the world was Hunger Games, Halt and Catch Fire.
That's fun.
No U in Halt, by the way. H-A-L-T. You know why? English is broken. That's why. Our dear Obama was the leader of the free world, and that red-faced drunk Boehner was speaker. Jonathan Martin and Richie Incognito, as we all know, had that pretty sizable dust-up in the Dolphins dressing room. You remember that?
Oh, yeah. It's like it was yesterday.
Thrift Shop by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis featuring Wands was the number one hit.
Whatever happened to that guy?
He went way too SJW and he just fell off. But man, I love that album, The Heist. The song 10,000 Hours is incredible.
Macklemore started really leaning into the choral elements of his songs. Too many people singing.
Hey, but that was part of the thing I loved about the first one. But then he did Same Love, which was a beautiful song about how love is love is love. But then he tried to absolutely just use that template for Black Lives Matter
Okay,
in his
so,
follow-up album. And it was, I can't remember the name of it, but the Baby Birds will find it. It was a horrific attempt, and that's really what made him fell off, Pat, to answer your question.
And speaking of Black Lives Matter, Paula Deen got canceled for having that innocent antebellum party wherein white-only bathrooms were on the menu. That was fun. And then Amanda Bynes officially left the reservation when she threw air conditioners at people from Great Heights.
Oh, man.
It's so nice to get a little taste of what it was like back 7 years ago.
I would say, all in all, not a great year.
I was just going to say, it was so nice to get a little taste of 2013. Why don't we talk about where we all were in 2013?
Oh, but just because of the new listeners and you know, I mean, I vote no. But
Save it till the end, you're saying? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's a
as soon as we wrap up. I'll probably forget because they get too high.
Not a great year, but the good news is, you know, as many of you know, the three of us are addicts to silver linings.
I am.
We've got a fantastic season of The Bachelor featuring the prejudiced failed athlete, Juan Pablo Galvianatasas. So let's get into his aventura.
Sure.
I'm a little confused about his profession. It seems that he is a professional best buddy to the Marlins' Juan Pierre. I'm not really sure what he does.
Well, all right. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
So he listed himself as a sports consultant, whatever that is. Very ambiguous.
And entertainment.
Oh, right.
Sports and entertainment.
Right. But his actual occupation at that time, because way back in 2013, 2014, we decided that we hated him. We'll get into why.
Right.
So we actually started outing him of what he was really doing. And he was in Miami, Florida as a club promoter, which is a dirty, filthy business.
So was he talking to Juan Pierre about, like, Thursday night I got you set up?
Maybe. I don't know.
That's so definitely 1,000%.
That's what it was, right?
Yeah, and because, like, I bet he actually, I'm not even going to put this one on him. I bet he told production, what you club promoter, and they're like, how can we make this redeemable? Sports and entertainment consultant. He gives booths to people at clubs.
Sporting figures. Yeah. Oh, that's good.
And I will say about Juan Pierre.
Yeah.
Incredible steals plug and play for fantasy back in 2013.
Yep. All right. So can I give you my take on Juan Pablo as a whole? Just
Juan Pablo or Juan Pierre?
Juan Pablo.
Oh, okay.
Remove the homophobia and misogyny.
I know.
You got yourself a goddamn man here.
Unbelievable. I mean, aside from the filthy profession of club promotion.
That's what I'm saying.
But I just keep thinking, when am I going to hate this guy?
Oh, you will.
He's throwing me off his scent left and right.
Oh, you
We'll get
will.
into it.
Yeah, but hold on. I just want to say this. This is one of the fun things about watching a season that was filmed, because I hated him, actually. I remember hating him and his season back in 2013, 14, whatever. But now when I compare him to this litany of pussies, if you think about it, think about Peter and Colton. Enough said there.
Right.
Nick Viall, while he had a good game and confident guy, he was still a complete wimp.
He got better post-show.
Exactly. And then who else was in there? Have we had in between there? Oh, the guy who killed the guy that ran him over.
Oh, yeah. This franchise is so fucking fun.
I was thinking the same thing about when am I going to not like this guy, but then when he met all the girls in the middle, he's like, hey.
What did you just say?
His voice really pissed me off.
His voice is very, very... We're going to get to all of it.
Oh, hold on. But
Yes.
I do have this because I don't think this steps on anything in the future. Okay, so Nick, I'm glad you touched on the language barrier. That will challenge you. But his inability to verbally formalize a thought, that will really eat at you.
Don't say formalize a thought.
His expertise is
Say
thought.
form a thought.
Is it not formalized?
No. I think you can say formalize.
This prick tried telling me that when someone's playing the harmonica, you can't say they play a good harp. He laughed maniacally.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I laughed maniacally, not that you were incorrect.
You know Dylan, he just probably fired up and said, no, he didn't, you fucking idiot. You don't deserve to live.
But, before this filthy life as a club promoter, he was an athlete. He was a professional athlete. He was playing in the MLS in the late aughts, I would assume, which was a robust year. It was a robust time for the league. Contracts ranged from $20,000 to $40,000 a year. So when Camila was born, safe to say he had to pivot. Now, I don't want to get too tinfoil cap heavy here.
I love it when we do that.
One of the reasons why we turned on him was because of the rampant homophobia, which was underneath the surface, but not too deep. It was always there. I think that he may protest too much because one of these Marlins really left a hand on his thigh. They seem to be very good friends. And he seems to be constantly drawing balls with his daughter. Keep drawing balls in the sand on paper with crayons?
I don't think there's anything tinfoily had about it. Those are red flags. I'm not saying anything definitive, but we'll keep our eye out.
Okay, so...
one thing about him being a club promoter,
yeah.
though we find it disgusting.
Yeah.
Let's recall, this man lives in Miami. To
Right.
be a club promoter in Miami is being president.
An actor here. Oh. No. I would say a dime a dozen.
That's true because there's so many clubs and such, but to be like a top level one,
Which he wasn't.
Okay. Could you give me the top 5 from 2013 in Miami?
No, but there is that one guy that's like kind of swollen, but he hangs out with all the celebrities. Anyways, he's not to kid about his daughter and him drawing testicles, but
I know who you're talking about. Not going to say it.
Right?
I don't know his name.
One of the reasons why I'm so thrown off is because he seems to be head over heels in love with his daughter. And it's just really beautiful to see. Juan Pobs says he needs a little advice, so he calls a friend, which is a filthy fucking lie spun by the Svengalis. But Sean Lowe is called in. Do we want to talk about this at all in any way, shape, or form?
Please.
Okay, great.
All right, so I did a little digging what Sean Lowe is up to now because I thought he was just a TV person. Nick, I know this is generally your wheelhouse, but forgive me.
No, the fact that other people on this podcast are going to pick up some shovels and do a little digging warms my heart.
Yeah, I have soft hands. I can't do it.
Understood.
Not good
Everybody digs. I don't want to make it sound
Not
like
good
I'm
outdoors.
So
But
get
you've been
this.
keeping up on the social.
Yeah. So Sean Lowe, while he is very active in Bachelor Nation, still showing up for this little segment, even in current day, as we've seen.
Right.
He makes his money in real estate investment that he runs along his childhood friend, which I don't have the name for him. Forgive me.
You're saying
for that.
fraud?
Well, it could be. I don't know.
Guys, when I started down this La Aventura with you two,
Yeah.
and we started covering this show,
Right.
Sean Lowe was what I thought was the mayor of Bachelor Nation.
Yeah.
He was the guy everybody, he was talking to everybody, he was sitting down, blah, 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 but he was quickly blown past by this new wave of influencers
Right.
who came into the game savvy with a strategy. It's very similar to like when the UFC started in 1994. All the athletes, the competitors were specialists in one, if any, martial arts. But now the athletes you see have been groomed since day one to be perfected in all areas, and that's the kind of Deans we're seeing. Dean lives in a van, and he's probably richer than everybody, and he looks very cute with what's her face right now,
Caitlin, I think. But in this particular episode, Nick, and here's my little opportunity to do a Sagui. It was probably not that good.
I'm looking
He's here
forward
for
to
a
it.
purpose. His purpose here is to offer advice to JP on his season or
Yes.
on this voyage. And this is my thoughts on it. He coaches them up how to avoid drama and get through the process. But he probably should have warned him not to refer to gay men as
Oh, Pat. Hard F?
It's a quote. See, that's the thing. Language is all about intent. He was saying what Juan Pablo said. Papa John should not have been removed.
Okay. I don't want to talk about Papa John, and I don't know why I have to say it every time we record.
And just to be clear, he said the N-word, not the F-word.
Okay, so anyways, obviously Sean Lowe is a total fucking shooby, but I think that he's actually kind of a fucking upstanding Nilla wafer of a human being. Like, he didn't pick the hottest girl. He picked the girl that he was really in love with. He's got a normal job. I mean, this is the pinnacle of The Bachelor, having a home in Burbank. Shitface steps up after this Juan Pablo package for a good amount of subtle camera A to B turns, and then he introduces the girls. Now, we're going to talk about these packages as we go through the limo exits, so just hang tight with us, but we will get to all of the pre-shot stuff.
Hey, Dill.
Yeah.
You're gonna get into limo exits. Is that what you're setting us up for?
Yeah, we're almost there.
Oh, right. Can I don't. It's not a PSA, but
Right.
maybe like a little warning or something for new listeners.
Yeah.
Because this always drives me crazy.
Right.
We get an influx of new listeners coming in. They're like, "Hey, what's this? Another Bachelor podcast?" You see a bunch of people listen to us because you see we got like nearly 2,000 iTunes reviews that are 5 stars or something. Right?
Yeah, I thought it was like 5,000.
Yeah. And then they come in and they hear these limo critiques.
Right.
All right. And sometimes we can be hard on the ladies, right?
Well, you can.
Right. But let me just say this. If you're a new listener, what you need to understand right now is we don't know these little ladies stepping out of the limousine. All we have to judge them is the little, hold on, is the little act they're going to put on.
Just
the
stop. Just if this is preventative, just please don't say the word little and couple it with lady. I'm just saying it hurts your cause.
I think that's. I've been seeing a lot of don't say lady type PC stuff.
Nick, don't. Oh no, don't.
Lady is fine.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Lady golf is fine. That's what it's called. But not little lady.
All right, let me finish my thought here. Anyway, if you're a new listener, all we have to evaluate these human beings that are stepping out of this goddamn limo is what they look like and what they say to Juan Pablo. So, hey, it may be a little harsh, okay? Get through this podcast, and then the next episode, click download or listen or whatever you're going to do, and then it will ease off a little bit, okay? We're going to base them on what's coming out of their mouths as opposed to what their tits look like.
So curious to hear what you wrote.
And also, if you hear us do the guys, then you'll see we are equal opportunity.
Yep.
And we also are all very aware of our own flaws, except Patrick, who has covered it up with plastic
Botox.
surgery and hair dye.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, before we get to the girls, we kick things off with kind of a usual suspects type twist. Chris Harrison says Juan Pablo Galvianatasas, there aren't going to be 25 women. There are going to be 27. To which JP responds, wow, 2 more.
Dylan, you're massive oversight on your part.
Yeah.
The way Chris Harrison frames this is you are the most popular candidate that we've ever had named as the Bachelor. It was the applications to be on this show to find love with you were so overwhelming.
Yeah.
The 2 more came in at the last minute.
Right. We had to get Kylie in here to see if you'd fall in love with her and make her your wife.
That would be a great little nugget to know.
The last 2?
Yeah, who were added, because obviously they were like, this is kind of weak field we got going on. We better throw...
It had to have been somebody
Andy.
like Andy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not only did he say that about it, he said Juan Pablo fever has reached epidemic proportions. And though that comment sickened me,
Yeah.
I will say I now long for the days when our biggest worry was the Juan Pablo fever epidemic and not the COVID-19 pandemic.
Nice.
Okay. You're right. I apologize for misrepresenting the influx of people that came in at the end.
Now, let me say this. My wife, it was our first year together, so it was actually the first cycle that we got to watch this show together.
Yeah.
When he was announced as the Bachelor,
Yeah.
I mean, regardless of what you think about him now or what
it was
history,
a big deal.
she got so horny for him. She was so excited because he wasn't even in the first 3 of Ali Fedorowski's season, but he made such a statement with him being there, the Latin lover, because he didn't have to talk a lot on that season. Okay, here he's pulling the weight of the show. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. My wife was really excited. America was.
No, that's great intel. Someone who was there, into it, knowing what the reception was, because every year we see it.
Yeah, and you were like 42 back then, so like you could really ingest kind of everything that was going on in the zeitgeist. Oh. Sorry,
Lady never.
I went like more hyperbole when I made the old joke. I said he was 24 in 1973, which would now put him at 61.
Okay, so let's get to the girls, please.
Oh, the limo exits.
Yeah, let's get to the limo exits. The fucking thing we've been waiting for or have already seen before. Reporter Amy steps out first. She's an absolute sweetheart. He stares at her tits, and then he says, I'll see you inside. Mm-hmm. He stares at a lot of breasts and a lot of chests. He does like a little inventory as they're leaving. Every girl. It's important, I guess.
Now, I was upset because I marked this girl as Amy Adams. And then, Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yep. She was a
makes
local
no
news
sense.
reporter, very basic. She looked like Amy Adams, like just a hometown girl.
Amy Adams has red hair.
This girl didn't?
No.
Oh.
I tell you what, I wrote down every single girl's name, occupation, age. I cannot for the life of me remember who is who.
Oh, man.
Hey, that's problematic.
That might be a problem.
That's a huge problem.
I know the storylines, and we've always talked about you get it better in 2. We should maybe pull it up on the old pewters.
I think we're going to be fine. Cassandra is out next. This is an unbelievably awkward interaction. It doesn't help that he doesn't say words to her when she stands in front of him. And that's another theme of his. He kind of just sits there and goes, oh.
Well, both of them did it.
No, I know, but as the Bachelor, I feel like it's your responsibility to kind of ease the girl into what is a very nervous first time on camera.
Well, Dylan, you didn't catch this.
Yeah.
But they edited this out, obviously. Yeah. But some producer off mic, off camera, he yelled, "Hey, you dumb b****. You're not at a club anymore."
No, we can't say that. I'll bleep it, but fuck, we can't say that. Jesus.
You can't just grind your hog up against her thigh because she can't hear anything you're saying.
Okay, so we've also got Christy and Christine. I have nothing written down for either of them.
Nothing.
Okay. Nikki, we had a package for this young lady, 26, pediatric nurse. Seems like an absolute sweetheart who cares for Down syndrome patients, though I've heard from many that she's, how do you say, a bitch. Is that right?
Oh, just you wait.
Okay.
Did we pass Cassandra already?
Yes.
Did we mention I'm sorry, I was lost. I had the notes.
Did we mention what?
That she was on Bachelor in Paradise?
No, we didn't.
And got absolutely embarrassed by that. Coincidentally, the guy who looked like Landon Donovan, I only say coincidentally because soccer, but he was just like, no, I don't want to be with you.
Oh, that's right.
And she's a former NBA dancer from Michigan who has a baby with
Trey.
former NBA player Rodney Stuckey.
From the Pistons.
That's right.
Who was named Trey, which is ironic because Rodney Stuckey was more of like hit the basket.
Right.
Maybe it was Trey. Maybe his middle name's the old way because he got a lot of 3-point plays.
Rodney didn't pull up a lot. Okay. Kat is up next, 29. Dancer. Question: what kind?
Yeah. But also, hold on.
DMFer.
They actually also put her occupation as a medical sales rep. Okay, those are those hot broads that walk around with the little wheel suitcase.
Oh yeah, Anne Hathaway in that movie about the pills.
Oh really? What was that?
28 days later.
I think that's it.
28 days.
So any thoughts on her? Or can I get to Chantel?
Chantel, let's get to Chantel.
Chantel, horrible dress, absolutely hideous dress. It's frumpy and blue. She says her name's tough to pronounce. Now, Chantel's no Bob, but it's no Saoirse Ronan either. Do people really have a tough time with Chantel?
It's ironic you said it wrong the first time.
Really?
No, then you said it right the second time, and you just said it wrong.
It's almost like it was a bit.
Did you? Was that the?
No, my brain's just dumb.
Oh, that would have been killer because it's Chantel, not Chantel.
Right.
People get it wrong all the time, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't care when people call me Dylon and then follow that up by saying the 5 base rep. Okay, I got it.
Dylon.
Whatever the pronunciation.
People do it a lot.
Whatever the pronunciation of her name is, not a good look already getting bitchy with how to pronounce her name.
All right. Victoria is the Brazilian drunk. We'll get to her later. Do you guys have any thoughts on this?
I do.
I do. How you sing that.
Okay. There's a show on TLC called I Am Jazz. It's about this 16-year-old kid that's he's a boy. I guess he's going to turn into a little girl or something like that.
Cool.
As I'm looking at her, Victoria, I'm like, this girl is kind of hot. I'd love to have sex with her. I'm like, who does she look like? And then it occurred to me, she looks identical to I Am Jazz Kid.
Oh, how troubling.
Yeah, because it's a guy.
And a child?
Pat, thank you for being so open and honest on this platform.
Well, that's all I have.
I thought she looked like a little bit. She reminded me in essence, and the dark hair of Victoria, the crazy one from the first season.
From this recent season, I thought it was uncanny.
But she didn't have quite the sex appeal to outdo the crazy that is.
Well,
underlying.
again, different time, you know.
And also getting ahead of myself.
Right. Okay, so Lucy the Free Spirit is out next. I just adore her. I think that she'll probably... I'm going to find out in the coming episodes if this is genuine or if this is a little too much.
I think it can be both, Dylan.
You
It
think?
is very genuine, and she is way too much.
You think?
This is going to be tough for me, guys. I didn't realize
I
this,
want a
but
subtle hippie.
having seen this season already in its entirety, it's going to be tough for me not to share the inner details of where this all goes with Lucy Goosey and a possible first threesome on the franchise Paradise Island.
Oh, wow, you're teasing. That's funny, but that is a true struggle that you're going to have to bear.
I think as long as it doesn't have to do with the winner and even like people were on, I think that little Bachelor in Paradise tidbit is fine.
Right. But he's seen the entire the season, so he can't give us spoilies as we go.
For winner, for
Yeah.
But I mean, even the juicy stuff like threesomes and fun stuff like that.
Juicy Lucy.
Yeah,
Goosey Lucy.
Never had one. It's one of the regional foods that I'm really.
Oh, I thought you meant a threesome.
No. Well, that ship has sailed, and I'm not bitter about it at all. Doesn't bother me.
But yeah, the Juicy Lucy, staple of the Midwest cuisine, cheese inside the burger. That's one thing I do know about, Dylan, if you want to do a deep dive into Juicy Lucy's.
I would. I mean, I probably know more about the Juicy Lucy than you, though, and you're from that filthy part of the country.
I basically gave you the extent of my knowledge on the Juicy Lucy right there. Go ahead.
Lauren S., wheels and a piano. I thought that she was in a wheelchair behind the piano, which... You know, I was thinking, oh, this could be fun, and then I was thinking, oh no, this is really inappropriate. I think it's like a Christopher Guest mockumentary.
I thought it was an awesome move. That the execution was very poor. She couldn't push it. She sucked. And don't play fucking classical. Come in with some Stevie Wonder or something. I mean, let's get this bitch popping.
I just think it's a shame because her hands really fly over the keys quite well. She hits one note that was very, very off, and it's why you have to be perfect. You know, you got to be perfect.
Well, Whiplash.
She's a music composer, Dylan. Music composers, they're not like performance based. They don't get it perfect. They spend hours and hours trying to perfect a score.
Exactly.
Can I say this? I have a little crush on boring Lauren. She looks exactly. I've referred to Crazy Lana on this podcast quite a bit. That's the girl I dated in the early 2000s that threw a wine glass at my head when I wasn't looking.
Was that the one that hit you whilst driving?
While I was driving, she punched me right in the face. This is what she looked like. So if you want to put a picture to those great stories, Crazy Lana looked like boring Lauren.
And if you haven't heard those stories, do go back in our archive. Well, time codes? No. You'll have to listen to everything.
2605. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so... Chelsea is up next. Oh, really quickly, I'll say this whole thing with Lauren was cringe, but this is another example of him throwing me off his scent. I mean, it's a very sweet moment where he jogs in and asks her name. He forgets her name. She doesn't say her name, and he jogs inside and he says, "I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to be here, but I didn't get your name."
It was sweet.
It was so sweet.
It was sweet.
But filthy homophobe and likely a misogynist as well. We'll get there.
That's the problem of watching it at 2.5 times speed. I did miss that little tidbit,
but
I feel like I'm pretty ready for it.
Yeah, no, I mean it was really beautiful. So Chelsea is up next. We've got a package on her. She's a science educator, which means she's a teacher, and she's from Columbus, Ohio. So, yuck.
I think of all Ohio as gray, always have.
Yeah, and just remember, I mean, we've talked about the Juicy Lucy today. Our regional delicacy for that shithole is pasta with chili on top. So
okay, they're turning me. That sounds wet as shit.
They do a chemistry gag. You guys have any thoughts on this?
Kind of like Breaking Sad.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. There are certain performances where the commitment is admirable, like you can see it that they've just stuck to it, but it would have been better for everyone if the effort was just shot in the leg right at the starting line on this one. Just say hi.
Or actually do a little experiment. Let's throw some chemicals in there.
Right,
Don't just be like, oh, no, we have chemistry. I want to see your skills.
Yeah, making napalm is essentially like a quick pickle. I mean, just throw some gas over some styrofoam. Let's get weird with it. Let's do some fun stuff. Don't touch that stuff after because it will... It's like alien's blood, you know?
Pickles?
Okay, so Valerie, next up, we did get a package on her. I think that she's playing 5:30 at the Mojave tent. Snooze Fest 2013.
I didn't like her because she was wearing boots. Don't wear boots. I want you gone.
Speaking of those boots, she asks him if he can see them. Your dress is touching the ground, you idiot. How can I see your boots? What kind of fucking question is that? Go away. I'll see you inside. There's lunch meat if you're hungry.
Hey, you know what you should wear the rest of the time? Shoes.
Okay, so next up we've got Elise, Ashley, the Gold Star person.
2 teachers.
Snooze Fest 2013. But next up is our Bachelorette, Clare. Hairstylist 32 from Sacktown.
Used to be 32.
She gets out of the limo in a lumpy third trimester, which was an insight into something seriously wrong with her brain. Remember that phrase. Now people are saying, "Oh, finally an older Bachelorette. I want some maturity and some actual earnest effort built in here, because everybody's just been 24 and thirsty for Instagram." Remember, just because Claire is in her 50s does not mean that she is not a fame-thirsty bottom dweller. I think it's going to be the same exact thing. It's not some new type of bachelor. It's just going to be more sad because she's older.
I think the biological clock will lead her her quest for love to be sincere,
Really?
and almost desperate to the point where
Yeah.
she will not pick like the highest level male like usually happens, someone who's going to be the Bachelorette. She'll pick some loser who also is desperate to settle down. All she has to do is marry one of these guys. She's set for life.
I'm going to say this. This has nothing to do with her being on this show to continue D-level notoriety. Claire, you can be 38 or 39. You've been saying that you want to fall in love. You showed up at least 3 incarnations of this goddamn show. Who knows what you're doing when you're not on TV?
Right.
You're 39. You've never been married. You never had kids. Obviously, this is not a priority, or you're a complete psycho.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think that she's going to pick the dude who wants to settle down and have kids. I think that she's an egomaniac, and I think that she's going to go after the hottest ones, the ones that she's got the most smut with. And I think those are going to be incubuses that spend a good amount of time in the gym, and I think that she's going to get completely fucking played and left because she's a stupid fame-thirsty. I'm just being a little too hot. But
I think it's all pretty accurate, except for the fact she just won't pick one of those guys. She'll bring them to this fantasy suites. She'll have them wear her out, and then she will pick, again, the most desperate individual who is ready to bear children.
all right, well, let's talk about her a little bit. She's the youngest of 6 girls, and her father was a great man, but something was wrong with his brain. Kind of morbidly burying the lead here. He passed away. This is it's just unbelievably sad. The story she tells broke my heart.
And gives more credence to my theory of desperation leading a sincere quest for love, because he gave her a DVD to give to her husband.
It's going to be obsolete technology in 2 years.
She needs a husband. She's going to be having to scavenge sheds in the Midwest just to find one of those players.
This is how she maintains relevancy. She stops the show. She has to go on American Pickers to find the DVD player to play the DVD for the guy who's left her.
So many of these people that come on this show for fame do not have the next step written out. You're welcome, Claire. Thank Dylan.
Okay.
And a little bit me. That was a little bit my nugget.
Yeah, no, totally. So I'm excited to get to know more of her. Pat, do you have any closing remarks?
Oh, okay. So this is my closing remark. You touched on this at the top there, Dill, of her exit limit, of her limo exit.
Yeah.
She shows up like she's pregnant.
Right.
Okay. Let me just say this, Claire. You do not know men if you think
It's insane.
that this is going to turn him on or whatever you're trying to get out of him. It's not. Look, there is a category on Pornhub. I believe it's ranked 57th, and it's it is in fact banging pregnant women. Okay.
Right.
But I don't think JP.
What was your favorite other one? Okay, so next up we've got Amy, 31, massage therapist / artist when it comes to the human body. Now, I don't want to come across as crass or sexist, but Amy, Seems like a whore to me.
Well, Dill, I got her number. Okay. She's all good vibes, but you talk to some of her exes, they're going to say that she keyed their car. She created fake social accounts. She sent screenshots of sordid messages to his new girlfriends. I mean, a real crazy bitch.
Leave us 5 stars. So, oh yeah, Amy does the zoom playing thing too. What the fuck is going on? Renee is up next. We've got a package on her. Sarasota, Blader, paddleboarder, and mother. Now we've got 2 moms on the show this season. 2013 batch, like we said, not the golden goose that it is today. You weren't guaranteed that Bing Energy money. Back in 2013, back in black and white. Now, I don't know if this makes her better or worse, and I'm leaning towards worse. This seems like a terrible, abnormal, misguided way to try to find a dad for her athletic son, Ben.
Dill, I couldn't agree with you more in your critique of this real estate agent from grimy Florida. And on top of this was the first limo exit where I noticed that she's orange. Bronzer. Dill, I'm not sure. That's that thing that the ladies apply to their face to give them a little subtle tan, like they were just
ladies. Yeah.
2014. It looks like orange spray paint that was mixed with Gouda.
Oompa Loompas, maybe.
It's horrible. It's horrible. And let me talk about her as a single mother on this show. I now, as a father, as a parent, could never leave my daughter. And I'm a horrible person, and an extreme narcissist, and a fame whore.
Right.
I'm not going to leave my daughter to be on a goddamn reality TV show.
Right.
I'd be depressed every single day.
Well, also, you don't really have a choice because you're kind of aged out.
Oh. Me?
Yeah, I think he's aged out, right?
You could philander. What are you talking about? He's being a good dad. You could definitely philander.
No. I'm not talking about philandering.
It's me being on the show.
I don't think you'd be invited to the program.
Oh, yeah. It's to kill his wife. We've discussed that portion of it.
Oh.
Speaking of people with children being horrible parents,
yeah,
they had this whole thing in the beginning about Juan Pablo having his kids stay in L.A. with the grandparents. Fat chance Juan Pablo has majority custody of that child. He has that child every other weekend, and this would have been the time where he really gets to spend time with grandparents. So we're gonna put him in a hotel where it's kind of my time. Maybe that cuts out a couple of weekends throughout the year.
Right.
The mom's taking care of that child. Oh no, they're gonna have this cokehead club promoter dad.
I don't know, man. He could be like Arturo Gotti's wife. I mean, you never know. You haven't seen the other side of this coin.
Could you give me just a quick background?
The bitch killed him.
So she didn't get to take care of the kids anymore?
So we have got to go to Lauren H. next. She's a mineral coordinator, which means that she's likely been roped into some multi-level marketing scheme. Also, 25?
Hey, Dill, are we going to get into Lauren's story?
Her story about...
Oh, it's a heartbreaker, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Turns out she was engaged for 6 weeks. She's at work. She receives a phone call. It's her fiance. He breaks up with her right there on the spot.
Yeah.
And she still seems pretty upset by this.
She sure does. We'll get to it later, but she almost can say nothing but this.
Well, she had a ring on her finger. I got a little theory about this. Once these little ladies get that ring, they get a little too comfortable.
Okay.
Before you know it, they start doing number 2 with the door open. Most guys, that's a deal breaker. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. She's a psycho.
Okay. Scatological over there. Phobia. Who knows? We'll get to her in a minute. Maggie gives him a fishing hook, which are barbed and dangerous. Kelly is up next. I love Kelly. I love Kelly and Molly.
Don't bring the fucking dog.
Come on.
How dare she?
Hey, if you were living in that house, I think everyone would welcome a spirit animal, a house mascot, okay?
Really?
Even if it is ugly like Molly.
And I don't know what she knows about Juan Pablo, but I mean, that's just like an early... This was before all the exits were overdone. This was a new thing. This was original. No one can ever bring a dog in again, but I say good move.
Do you know... Is that a spoiler?
No, did that happen?
No, it's never happened since.
No, but does Molly attack? Does she get put down at the end of the season? Is that why?
No, just no one wants to be a copycat.
Okay. So... Another fucking limo, for fuck's sake. We've got Lacey. She's up next, 25. Has a family makeup of mostly handicapped people, which is selfless. She also started caring for old men at the age of 20.
It's selfless if it's real. I just want to say she may have paved the way for Vanessa, and I don't know.
Well, you can make a lot of money in this. It's like adopting a bunch of kids. Okay, the government hands you a check for like $1,200 for each kid you adopt. Why wouldn't you adopt 20 of them? Who cares if you put them in the backyard and they're living in a shed?
To care. What?
What?
I was lucky enough to have wonderful foster parents throughout my life, but I have heard horror stories of some of my contemporaries.
So let's get to...
Do you really refer to a fellow foster kid as a contemporary?
Just now, kind of in the flow. And it was only till 4 that my grandma adopted me.
Okay, so, lastly, she gives him a bunch of loose opiates. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I like her already.
You love downers. So Alexis is another girl that has a Latin accent that he doesn't really seem to give a fuck about. There's 2 women that get out and they're like, Juan Pablo, like they have Juan Pablo, that they sound like they're from a place where the romantic language is spoken. But I don't think he gives a flying fuck. I don't think he wants a Latin girl.
That wasn't my problem with good old what's her name?
Alexis.
It looked like her forehead was melting.
Okay, so let's move on. Yep.
I don't think he likes Latin girls because his entire life he has been able to run through them.
Well, and also they're fucking crazy. I mean, every Argentine will tell you, you don't want to fuck with an Argentine woman. Mm-mm. She will stab you in the hand with a fork. That's more of a personal story, I know. Not really lore. Kylie's up next, the one that came in at the 11th hour. Interior designer. Can we move on?
Is that the redhead?
Yeah.
The really overwhelming red hair?
I mean, it's subjective.
I just wanted to make sure that was her.
Okay.
You could also describe her as the one that had the Kobe-like tragic ending.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't feel good about it?
That's the thing is, that's why we edit. We just say whatever
comes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good. Sometimes
we're
canceled.
Sometimes we look across it and we wonder, who is this person that I've agreed to do this podcast with?
Aww.
That's a joke because I've made way more dead Kobe jokes than you have.
I've blacked them out. Who would do that?
Can we move on to my favorite cast member? I think she's absolutely fascinating because she seems likely to have Aspergers. That's Charlene. She's an opera singer. I went to elementary school with some people like this. They peed with their pants all the way down until like the 5th grade.
But man, could they fucking belt a tune.
Yeah, they're good at things. They're good at one thing and not interacting with people at all.
I honestly think I've said it on this show before, but it's called Islets of Competence.
Yeah.
That's what anywhere you are on the spectrum from Asperger's to autism. Some people say they're different spectrums. I like to believe they are the same spectrum.
Okay.
I'm the DSM-6.
Right.
But I don't think there is a DSM-6. But Islets of Competence, they're usually good at one thing. Like Sean Penn could subitize. He could just 512.
Sean Penn?
Rain Man?
Dustin Hoffman?
Yeah, when they dropped all the toothpicks, he was like 512 or whatever he said.
Was the real guy's name Sean Penn?
You referring to the film I Am Sam?
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant, who's Rain Man?
Dustin Hoffman.
Oh.
Just when Juan Pablo says, I don't know how I'm going to do this, out steps Andy Dwarfman, the 27th woman.
Dwarfman?
Right?
I think
Dwarfman.
It's Dwarfman.
Oh, really?
She's not a little guy.
Well, corrected. Moving forward, I'll not call her Dwarfman. I'll call her regular name. So, Andy Dwarfman. Andy was a gang prosecutor in Atlanta, so she was likely rather busy with a number of cases. Now, that's not me being racist. That's me being woke to the horrors of the trap house. Thank you, Qauvo, and Offset, and Takeoff to a lesser degree.
And Jeezy back in the day. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Come on.
No, I'm a white guy. I don't know about trap. I know that T.I. did something.
Big bald head like he just left chemo.
Oh wow, what a lyric.
Young Jeezy.
Oh my god.
But also
Yeah.
they said on Andy Dorfman's Chiron, she said I'm a gang prosecutor, but they said assistant district attorney. but it just so happens that every case she gets is a gang-related case.
Yeah, I mean, it's a problem.
That's how they play with, like, they make them, like... Yeah.
Their titles.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, she's a racist, you're saying? Jesus.
Yeah. And in LA,
prosecutor.
it's a bunch of Jews suing each other, you know? Every case is just another Jew suing another Jew. So
I have some thoughts on her in this package.
she's a star.
Well, hold on. I think we can put this out there. She became the Bachelorette
Yes.
after this. Okay,
Yes.
so let me say this. In her package, she said being a criminal prosecutor is what she wants to do with her life because she enjoys helping the community. Now,
Right.
that's a quote.
Yeah.
Well, we all know how that ended up.
Yeah.
She became the Bachelorette. She actually turned in her, what do you call it when you quit a job? I forget. What's that word?
Papers.
No.
2 weeks?
Her,
Letter of
Oh, she said,
resignation.
I'll no longer be an arm of systemic racism.
correct.
Got
So
it.
she quit. That was in 2014. She never went back.
Right.
So apparently she likes doing blogs and podcasts.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's more honorable work, honestly.
Maybe she realized that throwing young African-American gentlemen behind bars for marijuana offenses is not productive to the community.
That's a good point.
Yeah, maybe she feels bad about that line. Anyways,
I would love to see a Wire-esque show about Atlanta because, I mean, the strip club scene alone. I mean,
yeah.
You guys heard about the Gold Club, Patrick Ewing? Incredible stuff.
yeah, lemon pepper wet.
I don't know that. I don't know that.
Chicken wings, baby. That's what you munch on while you're watching women dance naked on stage.
And if you're in the front row in the Midwest, you call it Sniffers Row.
And that's disgusting, and I'm fine with strippers. I just don't want to be condescended to. I'm not a pig. I'm here, but I'm not a pig. You're the one that made all the bad choices, so don't be a bitch to me.
Take my money and dance.
You don't even need to take my money.
Preferably not.
You have a lot of smells to you that I don't like. Okay. So, Shitface tells Juan Pablo how the first impression rose works. And then he heads off to get ready for his morning round at Rustic Canyon. No, I'm kidding. He'll be there till 5:30 in the morning.
He left. They couldn't get home. No service to go through the canyon.
So Juan Pablo steps up, kills the toast.
Oh, yeah.
Kills the toast. Says, I want to thank you guys for coming because I know that you guys all took a lot, it took a lot to be here. Laughable. But at least he's keeping up appearances. This is why we need a president that will be a corrupt piece of shit, but just face well. This is what I'm saying.
I
Juan
agree with
Pablo
that.
faces well.
A conservative president that that faces well.
Exactly.
Hey, to your point with Juan Pablo in this opening speech that he gives to the ladies.
Yeah.
The mood in that room was very sexually charged.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. The ladies were so horny.
That's exactly what Dylan.
This has been absent, this type of excitement to want to fuck The Bachelor in every other season we've seen since. Do you remember this type of energy when Colton walked in the room?
No, I mean, I think a lot of people were like, I don't think he's here for us. And I mean, all of our genitalia.
I've never seen a good toast, but maybe it was shit just like the rest of them, and I was sexually as charged as those 27 ladies were.
Great toast, but I'll say does not do so well post-toast. He stares at everyone for a long time and then starts playing music. Now, this raging good time will continue into the evening, and we will be back next episode to talk about all of it. There's plenty of fun stuff, but since we've been talking for an eternity now, we'll cut it. We'll see you guys at the next episode to break down all the cockies and all the rosies. If you're a new listener, jump in the iTunes ratings and reviews. Leave us 5 stars. We'll get Pat heated up and angry about the numbers later in the season. I think that we can be pacifists in the beginning, right, Pat?
Yeah.
But just to stave off Pat's anger just a little bit longer, let's keep the iTunes reviews going. Also, join us on Facebook at
Another Bachelor podcast.
Yeah, just search that. And also Patreon. Just tons and tons of exclusive content, PMZs, video, all of that fun stuff. Join us over there at patreon.com/Another Podcast Network. Guys, we will see you very soon for the next episode of Juan Pablo's La Aventura. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Pat, say goodbye.
Bye, guys.